Nothing as severe that we know of, but this is very early stages of these reports. I would like to emphasize that we are receiving information from first responders that are on the ground in the Tupelo area, and so as you might imagine, there is some bit of a rush to get information in to MEMA. We're filtering through that information, trying to verify as much of it as we can. The second area of great concern is in Winston County. We believe that there is severe damage also in and around the Louisville area. We have, again, search and rescue units that are there in Louisville, and as well as in Tupelo. I just spoke to the mayor a few moments ago and their emergency response center in Tupelo, Mississippi. He is, as we all would imagine, trying to assess any damages that have occurred, particularly injuries that may have occurred. Part of the concern, particularly in the Winston County area, in Winston County area, is the Winston Medical Center. We have had early reports that the Winston Medical Center has received damage from a tornado. Walls are down. Some gas leak is occurring. We'll talk more about that from just a moment from Jim Craig at the Department of Health. I would stress immediately that we are under a tornado warning in Hinds County and in Warren County. Moments ago, we received information that a tornado had been observed 5 miles west of Bentonia, Mississippi on the ground, and another one 2 miles I believe west of I-20 in Warren County. So as you can see, multiple reports of a number of tornadoes that we know have touched down and those that are continuing to form. One of the concerns that we have now as we send search and rescue units into the area is the other cells that are following this. The important part just now is to not have search and rescue personnel that are on the ground with another incident that may be on the way to the Tupelo area, and particularly that northeast section of Mississippi. I will report that we've opened a shelter with the assistance of the Red Cross at the Bank Course South Center at 375 East Main Street in Tupelo, Mississippi. So those that would seek shelter, we would advise you, if your home has been heavily damaged or destroyed, you can go immediately to the Bank Course South Center there with the Red Cross and begin to receive support. I will turn now to make sure that Robert Latham, who has done a phenomenal job beginning early this morning, will give you an update on the additional assets. We'll then turn to Ken McGee with the Department of Public Safety for an update there, and finally Jim Craig of the Department of Health. Robert.
Thank you, Governor. As the Governor said, I've been doing this a long time, but I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this. It just goes on, and I suspect it will continue on into the evening hours and overnight. The message to the citizens is that, we've been talking about this for several days now. It's not over. Do not let your guard down. If we go into the overnight hours, it's going to be even more dangerous. The atmosphere is still very unstable. It's been very warm, a lot of moisture. So we expect to see more and more training of these supercells coming up. We see, just as we came down the stairs, we saw some more in Louisiana. They're going to start moving a little further south. As you said, the Governor talked about a tornado warning for Hinds County. You're going to see those warnings continue, and I suspect to even move further south. So we're going to see this on through the night and probably into the early day tomorrow. We've been preparing to move state assets for several days now. The State Emergency Response Team, which is typically one mobile command center with representatives of the key state agencies that need to be on the ground. A few days ago, we made the decision to identify staffing and vehicles that we could deploy 3 separate teams, because we felt like this event could be multiple events over a wide part of the state. We're preparing to move those assets as soon as it's safe to do so. You can imagine putting a mobile command center on the road with winds of 60, 70 miles an hour and then a tornado. So we want to make sure that we move the assets quickly, but at the same time safely. As a matter of search and rescue, we decided very quickly to move our search and rescue assets from DeSoto County in behind the storm who are moving into the Tupelo area now to assist local firefighters and law enforcement officials and other first responders, ensuring that we account for all the citizens in that area. And as the governor said, there are hundreds of homes that have obviously been damaged or destroyed. We have our area coordinators on the ground that are feeding us information so that we can get good situational awareness. We've deployed 2 local emergency managers, one from Pontotoc County, one from Union County. He was able to come in behind the storm, assisting local emergency management office as well as the mayor of Tupelo in identifying what his most important needs are. Security through the night with the power outages is going to be one of the most important things. Law enforcement officials and other first responders can work hard for a long time, but they can't work forever. So we've got other assets that will be moved in quickly overnight, early morning hours to support local law enforcement and other first responders to make sure that we can continue the response as long as we need to and then transition to the recovery, which is going to be critical for those that have been impacted. Shelter, as I said, has been open at the Bancorp South Center. We've got state medical assistance team on standby, prepared to move in, provide medical assistance should the Winston County Hospital not be able to function, and Jim Craig will talk about that. Again, this is not over. It's going to last on into the night. I want to caution our citizens to be weather aware, watch the weather, watch it intensely, be prepared to take shelter, make sure your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, look out after them, take care of each other. We'll do what we can, I can promise you that, but it's ultimately what citizens do to protect themselves and what they do to their neighbors that's going to save their life. So I just encourage them to do that. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Robert. I'll also add, General Collins is here. I have requested the mobilization of 50 National Guardsmen in the Tupelo area and another 50 in Winston County to help with the support of Neshoba County and Louisville there in that area. Now we'll turn to Ken McGee. Department of Public Safety has moved assets, personnel immediately into these areas. Ken, if you could give us a brief update on our personnel from the Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor. Department of Public Safety, through the Mississippi Highway Patrol as well as the Department of Homeland Security, is currently deploying assets to the affected areas. We have state troopers, as we speak, moving into the affected areas, along with law enforcement strike teams that are being stood up in preparations to moving them into the affected areas as well. Our goal will be to assist with search and rescue efforts, as well as aiding the local agencies in securing damaged properties from possible looting, things like that could take place, later on. If I have one message I'd like to pass on to the public, remind them that this is an ongoing weather event. It's not over, and the best thing you can do to assist authorities is to stay in place, stay at home, stay off of the roadways. It's going to be a hectic situation, and law enforcement, first responders need your help in just staying off the roadways. Thank you.
It's always a particular concern. We have a hospital, medical center that has been damaged. Fortunately, Jim Craig here, Department of Health, has a fast team being mobilized. Jim, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, Governor, thank you. As was reported, early reports from the Tupelo area and from Louisville area indicate that some mass casualties may have occurred. So to assist with that, triage teams from our Oxford location of a state medical assistance team have been dispatched to assist in the Tupelo area. There are also a resupply trailer that we're sending over from the Oxford area that resupplies EMS units that may be working in this impacted area. In addition, teams from the state medical assistance team area in Jackson are preparing to deploy to assist in the Winston County area, as well as we have a 6-bed ER trailer that we're mobilizing to assist Winston County should there be need for additional services in that area. Our emergency response coordinators from public health are checking on all of the healthcare facilities in these impacted areas to see if there are any other damages that they may need assistance with. And as always, if there are additional needs, we'll continue to try to staff those and move teams around. We still have some additional field hospital teams that are available in Mississippi should there be need in other areas.
I think, as you can see, we've responded to this incident with a cooperation that we normally receive from all of the important, not only on the state level, important agencies involved, but the local level as well. Just to summarize it again, damages from what we believe to be tornadoes in western part of Itawamba County, Winston County, Yazoo County, trees down, power lines down. Montgomery County reports of 4 homes damaged. Neshoba County, homes damaged. Winston County, severe damage there in Winston County and Louisville area, as well as in Tupelo, Bentonia, and further in Warren County. We will try to keep you updated as quickly as we can regarding the damages and or injuries that have occurred. But again, to emphasize, this is an ongoing weather condition that is life-threatening. These are very dangerous storms. They will go on until tomorrow, throughout the night and into tomorrow. And so the challenge we have is to affect our search and rescue efforts while storm conditions may worsen. So we will continue to update you. The general public should, as we said, try to stay at home, make sure that they're aware of warnings and watches in their area. We have already, I have personally spoke to individuals who sought shelter in basements and in storm shelters who were alive, who had emerged and observed their homes totally destroyed. You can save the life, your life and the of your family members if you will observe the safety actions that we always request. Make sure that you're in an area that is lowest in your home. If you have no basement or storm shelter, go to the center hallway. Cover yourself in a hallway closet or bathroom if a shelter is not available to you. Do not try to outrun a storm if you observe one. We have had some individuals who have tried to videotape and photograph these dangerous storms. You will lose your life doing that. Do not leave your home unless necessary when a storm is approaching, and seek shelter at the time of a warning. Again, we would like to warn anyone who would like to be a sightseer or try to go to these areas, stay out. They will be secured and we will be protected. Anyone caught looting will be dealt with extreme prejudice. We will not tolerate anyone looting at this time of disaster. Mississippians have lost their homes. Many have lost everything that they own today. It is our responsibility to make sure that we respond with all that we have. Thank you. We'll keep you updated as soon as we know more. Thank you. I want to thank FEMA as well for being here today. FEMA responded very rapidly to this, and it looks as if we're going to need your help. Thank you. Any questions you might have?
Early reports have requested additional emergency medical service units to respond to areas in and around Tupelo and the Louisville community. As I stated earlier, we have some resources that are, we call them a SMAT-3, or a State Medical Assistance Team, that brings resources to an area where there are potentially mass casualties.
What numbers?
We have no numbers. These are only early reports. There's a lot more information that will be forthcoming as the search and rescue efforts continue. We have not received any confirmed reports on that, as far as I know. It could very well be. Again, we don't have visibility as to the numbers of mass casualties. This is really deploying a resource that can assist with mass casualties.
I think it's important just to understand that in a situation like this, in the minutes and hours following the event, it's chaos. As good as our plans are, there's a certain period of chaos, and we want to minimize that period of chaos as much as we can, and we will. But we want to make sure that the information we give you is good, accurate information, and we're telling you everything that we know is just very early. Not to mention the fact that the storms, as I said, the governor, are still coming in, so it's going to, hamper the results of the efforts of the search and rescue. You know, we're going to do as much as we can, as quick as we can, deploying state assets as quick as we can, but until we know for sure for something, we're just not going to report it.
I would advise you, we've got a warning, so if you don't have to get outside just now,
It's
you may
safe here.
you're in the safest place you can be.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
We have coffee upstairs.
So for those of you in the building, you are very safe here. Feel free to stay inside. We'll conduct another briefing. I anticipate later this evening. We'll let you guys know as far in advance once we kind of get things in the clear a little bit. So just stay safe out there.